I think the main talking point this morning is the Black Stars, but we have to touch on one or two things before that much important victory. You spoke about Barcelona extending Frankie de Jong's contract. Sure. I've said a number of times that the best transfer you can do is to first maintain your key players. And the moment you do that, it gives a lot of trust and confidence about the project you are building. And frankly speaking, ever since De Jong moved from Ajax to Barcelona, he's been struggling in terms of fitness. He's been struggling in terms of availability. But anytime Frankie is fit, he's a gem in midfield for FC Barcelona. But despite being injury prone, especially in recent times, the first day Hans Flick stepped into Barcelona, he walked straight into the sick bed of Frankie de Jong and gave him some confidence and look, I'm going to build a certain good project around you. And anytime Frankie is fit, alongside Pedri in the midfield, Barcelona offers a lot of control. That game against Newcastle, the likes of Bruno Gomares and co were complaining about how these two guys can control the game and put you on your nerves. It tells you that these two guys are just two warlocks that you can never take away in terms of the current state of Barcelona and how huge role they are playing for the club is Barcelona. So for me, if you think maybe Lamine Yamal is so good in recent times, if you think maybe Ferran Torres is so important in recent times, these two guys, especially Frankie de Jong, has also proven that he's one important figure Barcelona can never move away from. And don't forget, his role is redefined into many folds. As a DM at times, people characterize you by your ability to sound robust. But Frankie de Jong is the master of the deep line playmaking. And then again, when he's playing alongside Pedri, these two guys do alternate their roles and ensure that they will give Barcelona a perfect run. So for me, he's one key figure within the setup and the style of play of, Hansi Flick. And I'm sure that keeping him is going to entrust a lot of confidence in the project. Don't forget, Hansi Flick always loved intelligent players. His days at Bayern Munich, it was Joshua Kimmich and then again, the guy, Thiago Alcantara. So it tells you that he loves operating with masters of the brain whenever he wants to control the midfield. And Frankie de Jong is going to offer that. And whenever he's playing with Frankie de Jong, let me say, Pedro Gonzalez, look, they offer a lot of security on the ball. They offer a lot of control. And they do manage games because in terms of control, we control to manage time, we control to defend, and we control to attack. And these guys will give a lot of those options in midfield. So for me, getting him, and now that he's formed that better pair with Pedri, I think it's going to be something so special for FC Barcelona. So for me, I think that it's a good idea. Keeping him, we're only praying hoping that he should fit and keep playing for FC Barcelona. But Paul Cubarsi said something about Barca this season, especially how vulnerable they are in their season defending. And he was like, last season, the defending always start from the offensive third. And it's obvious that in recent times that high pressing has been one element of defending you can never take away from the game. But Paul Cubarsi is insisting that, look, the reason why they're conceding more goals is that the style of play they offered last season, especially from the offensive third, has changed. The players up front are not pressing that much. They're not giving that kind of coordinated press. But for me, you see, Barcelona this season haven't changed their pressing scheme. Just that some individuals are failing to assume their roles. You can't ever rely on Lewandowski to lead your press for you. No, because he's not having that energy. But looking at how Rashford has arrived, he's a pressing monster. And when he's playing alongside Ferran Torres, these two guys offer a certain kind of coordinated press. But whenever you play Lamine Yamal, he is now accepting the fact that he is the main figure within Barcelona. So he can never assume the high pressing role to aid Barca in terms of defending. So for me, yes, though they haven't changed their style, but some individuals must be able to accept the fact that when they lose the ball, they must be able to offer a certain kind of coordinated press to ensure the defending from the high defensive side, especially how they want to use a three defensive line. Pressing from high, pressing from midfield, and ensure a certain kind of defensive line defense. So for me, the style hasn't changed, but just that, when you play the likes of Rafinha to play maybe just behind Lewandowski cannot press, but Rafinha is going to give that kind of pressing identity. But for me, yes, the style hasn't changed, but some individuals are failing to assume some roles. So for me, For us to flip to address that kind of defensive issue, they must be able to offer that kind of coordinated, that well-organized press they offered last season. If not, Barcelona are going to struggle, especially coping with teams that use a lot of high transitions and then again, a lot of verticality. So for me, a lot is expected from Barcelona, and to be able to defend their title this season and stay competitive in the Champions League, they must be able to stay fit, especially organizing and staying balanced in terms of defense and attacking transition. So for me, nothing has changed, but then again, individual players must try to back up and assume some roles and take responsibility whenever Barca loses the ball in the offensive third. Sir Jim Ratcliffe said like he want to give Amorim some 3 years to prove his worth. Honestly speaking, in every winning team, there are two foes. It's either a coach will walk in and start grinding results, or you give that coach a certain level of time and be patient enough for that coach to build and turn things around. We've seen the Sir Alex Ferguson. He spent huge number of times within Manchester United, he turned things around. The likes of Arsene Wenger. So it tells you that to be able to build a very competitive team, is either the coach will just walk in and sign superstars, or you give that kind of coach a kind of space for that coach to build a certain winning team for himself. But you see, Amorim is a promising coach. I mean, this team to the top. But just move into a club that are struggling for a longer while. So if you want to judge him within some 2-3 years, you are going to get a lot of things wrong. I still believe that Amorim is having a lot of things to offer, but then again, he is being so pragmatic about a certain thing, failing to adjust his style of play to suit the quality available. At Sporting, you could play the 3-back system, it will function. But it is Manchester United, a team that has some lot of egos. So when you come, you have to maximize a way to control the egos and find your balance, especially getting the best out of your key players. Amorim came, Bruno Fernandes is not performing any longer. He brought some key guys that are willing to deliver. So it tells you that there are some things he must be able to adjust. But if you want to stick to one kind of system, a time is coming. Ratcliffe can give you that 3 years, but the fans are never going to give that space to breathe and get your 3 years going. So for me, it's a good idea, but then again, Amorim should also adjust and find his way to play good football. Brian Mbeumo went to the Cameroon national team. He is dazzling. And the fans of Cameroon brought a certain banner. They said like, look, Mbeumo should talk to Amorim, said that he can reverse to a certain 4-3-3 for the guys to perform. So it tells you that some players will love to function properly within some specific system. So when your 3-back is not functioning, look, these guys will move to their various national teams and start performing. So it tells you that your system is becoming a problem. Brian Mbeumo walk into the Cameroon national team, operate in the 4-3-3 system and start scoring goals. Other key guys, the likes of Benjamin Sesko and co, Bruno Fernandes and co, work into different teams. They will play 4-back, maybe 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 4-1-4-1, and these guys will be delivering. But Amorim is trying to be a bit pragmatic and adamant. But you see, you can never also blame Amorim because he believes so much that the formation that brought him to the spotlight is a 3-back system. And this is how Amorim wants to play. He wants to start with the 3-4-3. In terms of build-up, his style will change into the 4-2-2-2, kind of the Rafrani kind of system, the magic square. But when he wants to settle, he settled in the 3-3-3-1. It tells you that this is his identity he wants to play. But then again, like I said, this is Manchester United. This is a big club. They're always calling for results. The fans are calling for a lot of interesting performance. You're going to face key guys that are going to, show their egos to you. So you must be able to manage the egos and also find a way to get a certain proper balance in terms of getting a lot of interesting performance from your players. So for me, it's a good idea that your club president is having some confidence within you and giving you some time and space to breathe. So for me, I think that it's a very nice opportunity for Amorim to try to adjust and then put a lot of things together for Manchester United. Snappy on the basketball. The last time I was saying that this season we are going to see the Curry brothers playing for the Golden State Warriors. Talking about Steph Curry and Seth Curry. Steph Curry being the elder and then Seth Curry being the younger one. One thing that is going to be so crucial is that both guys are offensive driven players in the basketball. And one thing that is so crucial that the Duke Nation are going to enjoy this season is how they can win games from a three-pointer. Steph Curry is a typical shooting guard. Then Seth Curry is a point guard. It tells you that whenever these guys are within your franchise, they give a lot of offensive moves. But looking at these numbers, one element of Steph Curry is his ability to win games with the three-pointers. And now they've got another guy who is even having much conversion rate from the three-pointer angle better than Steph Curry. So this season, we're going to see the Duke Nation playing with two offensive players, with Steph Curry having the three-pointer conversion rate of 42.3, then Seth Curry having the three-pointer conversion rate of 43.3.